Hello everyone, today I'm going to be going over my top 3 issues with Druid in Season 5, so let's hop on into it. While the class's power level is up, there are some glaring issues I think that do need to be addressed, while also offering some solutions. So first, what in the heck did they do to Shred? It is so bad that the stereotypical werewolf theme is hardly playable. Why did they nerf Blurred Beast in the first place and make it so Bash Barb could deal billions of damage? Yes, Blurred Beast double dipped. Yes, the build needed a bit of a nerf. But they took Blurred Beast and reduced its damage down to like 55%. Meanwhile, Shockwave aspect for Pulverize gets to be like 200% damage on a two-handed weapon, while Blurred Beast only gets to be 110%. This isn't really balanced. Not only that, Pulverize gets to become an Earth skill, Shred does not get to become a Storm skill. So there's just some massive imbalance just going between being a werewolf or being a werebear and just wanting to play that one theme without having to play like, a were-NATO druid or something like that. Like, how is any of that really balanced? I mean, the build's so bad that Maxroll took Shred Druid off of all their tier lists, so if that doesn't tell you something. Oh my gosh. But for solutions, change Blurred Beast back. It's really that simple. With the current power level of builds, Shred is no longer OP mega busted with Blurred Beast. If anything, it would actually just be really strong. Just give us back Blurred Beast, and you can play a Shred Druid again. Another solution would be, give us more stuff. Make it to where Werewolf skills can be Storm skills. Buff Blurred Beast up to be 200% like what Pulverize is. Make a unique helmet similar to Tempest Roar that makes it to where your Werewolf skills can become Storm skills, so then we have access to more multipliers. Whenever we could actually mix Wolf and Storm easier, that would make the build quite a bit stronger. So going into my second issue, they need to rework Paragon nodes. Personally, I think Druid has a pretty bad Paragon board. Constricting Tendrils is really never ran. Getting 2 Spirit back on crits is okay, I guess, but there are better ways to get Spirit back. You literally don't get any heightened Malice value on bosses. There are also some Paragon glyph issues. Undaunted is one. It really doesn't make sense to run that glyph because if you just go into the first rare node into the Werebear tree, you can get 16% damage reduction, and then you can actually end up using you get a little bit less additive damage, but you get more damage reduction, and you still can use points to get some additive damage somewhere else in the Paragon board. So it doesn't really ever make sense to run that, but whatever, that's cool. And not only that, because our skills don't cross over enough, it also makes it hard for us to get true value out of running things like Keeper, Shifter, or Poise. We seldomly can utilize both rare nodes, and they end up just being used to boost max life or damage reduction passives, which is fine, but I'd like to see some changes to make the Paragon board better. My solution for this would be change Constricting Tendrils effect to make Poison immobilize enemies and make your Poison deal its damage 50% faster, or give it an effect like when you immobilize a poison target, the poison deals its full damage at 50% increased value, something like that. Heightened Malice just needs another additional thing on there where it says if you're fighting one enemy, you get 25% increased damage or something like that. If you're fighting 3 or more, it can be the 45%, then boom, it's fixed pretty easily. Lust for Carnage really should give 2 Spirit back, but then it should also increase Werewolf skill damage with some conditional thing. It could be like for each different kind of poison on the target, your werewolf skills deal more damage. It would play into the fact that werewolf skills all deal poison damage typically, and it would really help play into making a stereotypical werewolf just better, right? It would incentivize the use of Toxic Claws, Rabies Claws, the Poison Rune, and all of these different things that aren't really ran because Rabies just kind of blows right now, right? And then they can either buff the Undaunted Glyph's damage reduction or nerf the rare nodes just to make it to where your glyph is actually impactful. We shouldn't have this issue where going and getting other rare nodes ends up being better than a glyph, I feel. I feel like glyphs should always just be the best in terms of you want to use a glyph over getting a rare node. Try to get as many glyphs as you can. That just makes sense to me. But we'll see what they end up doing, but hopefully they do change the werewolf one because poison builds are just completely they're pretty bad right now. There's not really a solid way to play them. We'll see what happens with Creeping Death being added back in, But overall, I am hoping they change the werewolf one to help play on poisoned ones as well as constricting tendrils. It would really just make things really cool to work with. Alright guys, and my final problem with Druid is they need more crossovers for abilities. They also need to add in, some legendaries for a couple of specific skills that are still seeing almost zero love, even though we are sitting here at Season 5 now, right? So, more crossover for abilities. How are Ravens, Poison Creeper, and Wolves not default nature magic abilities? Like, do the Wolves live in the damn city, or do they live in the woods? Because that's confusing me. Do Poison Creeper especially, how is that not a nature magic skill? Like, what? You're summoning vines out of the ground? Like, I don't know. Right, whatever, Now, given Storm's Companion does seem to be turning Wolves into a Storm skill and a nature magic skill, which is cool. Once they actually fix the bugs, so Thunderstruck and stuff like that will work with it. That'll be awesome. But they should be nature magic skills by default. Anytime, a type of skill can go one way, another skill should go the other way. This is going to be like my next thing. So you can take Storm to Werewolf, but you can't really take Werewolf to Storm. You can take Earth to Werebear, but you can only selectively take Werebear to Earth. I don't really see how this makes sense. I think it gives Earth builds and Storm skills an edge over the Werebear and Storm counterparts because they're just going to have access to more multipliers. So I think that there should be 2 more helms added into the game. That one that makes Werewolf skills into Storm skills, and then one that makes Werebear skills into Earth skills. You have to use that head slot because unless they really want to get crazy, then people are going to be running like both, so it goes like vice versa, and then you'll have like these crazy hybrid builds, kind of similar to what Landslide is right now, where it's just more so based around casting lightning storms, than anything else, right? Now they tried to do this a little bit, right? Kronstaff does make Claw Storm skill, but we need more, Why? And not only that, Werebear does still have an edge over that as well because Pulverize gets to become an Earth skill. So, but notice that Pulverize is way stronger than Shred. So if Shred could become a Storm skill, maybe that could also help Shred Druid out and actually come back. Because it's really dumb how bad Shred Druid is right now. But the solution, again, give abilities more skill tags. Another helmet that should be added would be cool. Not only that, they should add in more uniques and legendaries for the companion skills for the other ones. So for example, a unique item that turns Ravens into like big storm birds. They then become a core skill. They deal increased damage, kind of similar to Metamorphic Stone. And then they make it to where, like, instead of them like being a tornado of ravens, they like shoot in a straight line or something like that. That could be cool. So then you give Companion Druid like an interesting way to utilize core skill mechanics in there. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. Companion Druid's pretty good. But it's specifically only when you focus on the Wolves. Poison Creeper and Ravens still aren't really that great. They're not bad, and they're definitely way stronger than they were last season, so don't get me wrong. Power level is up on Druid builds. I'm not complaining about that. I think there's still just some more work that needs to be done when you compare Druid to the other classes, because Druid is by far, I think, the worst class currently in Diablo 4. With these changes, because they just did all these nerfs for whatever reason, but then they buffed these other classes. Like, the nerfs to Druid just don't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me. But yeah, but those are just some examples on, what they could do for more crossover for abilities, and maybe adding in a Poison Creeper legendary that doesn't just put them into a Trample Slide, because the one they have is cool. It does give them a nice utility when you run it inside of a Landslide build. But at the same time, it's like, hey, maybe we could do something that actually focuses on Poison Creeper instead, right? And I think the Constricting Tendrils one would be a nice change, because that would actually, changing that legendary node would actually benefit Poison Creeper as well, and just all poison skills in general. So yeah, but that would be pretty cool. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is just my top 3 issues I have with Druid right now. But like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.